video about sketchbooks, why I love sketchbooks, tips on having a sketchbook, and tips on buying a sketchbook. All the things sketchbook. So you will see a very fast introduction of all of the sketchbooks that I own and some of the pages from my sketchbooks. It's a little bit of a different way of showing you things in a quick way. I do have other sketchbook tours that you might want to check out if you want to see more in-depth and longer clips of my sketchbook pages. But yeah, I'm going to talk about them. So I've actually never had a sketchbook until I started YouTube. I didn't really know what a sketchbook was. Back in school, they didn't really encourage you to keep a sketchbook, and they didn't really say, you know, this is important, which is weird because everybody that I've talked to since school has said that sketchbooks are really important for learning and improving your work. It's also like a personal journal in sketchbook form, like sketching and drawing form, where you can just put anything you want in it. It doesn't have to be just amazing rendered drawings. It doesn't have to be just drawings. You can take notes and you can write down inspiration and quotes, and you can scribble, and you can just make it your own and experiment, practice, explore, and just have fun with them. That's why I love them. There's plenty of other reasons why I love them as well, and this video is probably going to be all over the place. So what I would recommend is to attach yourself to your sketchbook and take it everywhere you go, which I do, even though I don't really go that much places. If I do go somewhere, I take my sketchbook with me. You can doodle while you're waiting at the doctor's office, or while you are in your parents' house and you don't really want to talk to them. No, really. I doodle at my parents' house a lot, but I don't just ignore them. I do talk to them as well, and I actually get them involved. So I tell them to tell me a number between a certain amount, and then I go and search on my 600 plus things blog post to draw thing, and it just makes it fun as well. Draw in it as much as possible. Find time to sketch, like wake up early in the morning and go to bed a little bit later. Schedule in time if that works for you, or just randomly pick it up whenever you can. The more sketchbooks that you fill up, the better you will become at drawing, and you will become better faster. If you draw in your sketchbook daily, you only need to draw in it for like 10 minutes. I draw in it for about an hour recently. Keeping a sketchbook is hard, so you need to find out ways to keep your sketchbook and keep it going and not get bored. It also frees up and loosens your hand and your wrist, so that you can draw better when it comes to drawing more rendered artworks. So you just scribble out all the bad stuff first, and then you can start on your good work later on. So I recommend, if you are an artist and you draw daily every day, and you want to make artwork every day, I recommend that you take half an hour to an hour out of your day at the start, so that you can loosen up your hand and just get ready to just go. It's like stretching your muscles before you go on a big workout or hike. It also can push you out of your comfort zone, so you can try things that you've never tried before. You don't have to show people your sketchbook, so you don't have to be afraid of making mistakes. And mistakes are good because you learn from them. Making mistakes and drawing bad drawings are a way to teach you what not to do in the future, and how to combat your fears of using different mediums and drawing different things. And there's also something just about holding a book in your hands that's physical, and I don't know, it feels amazing to have created something that is in book form. It's almost like you've went to a publisher and been like, right, I want to do this, and you've just put it in a book, and it feels amazing. Turning to the next blank page and filling it with your ideas and concepts, your thoughts and feelings in sketch form, and looking through completed raw artwork, it just makes it almost magical. You also seem to improve your drawings without thinking about it when you are keeping a sketchbook. You just draw and you don't even think about, I need to get better, I need to do this. You just scribble out your ideas and concepts and your thoughts and imagination, and it just makes you better. You can also keep a few different sketchbooks for different things. If you want to keep a sketchbook for anatomy, you can do that. You can keep a sketchbook for watercolour practice, for facial feature practice, for objects and all different kinds of practice if you want. Or you can just have a sketchbook that you just have a catch-all kind of thing. Different things work for different people, so you would have to experiment with that and see if you prefer to have a catch-all or to have certain sketchbooks for different things. If you were going to have a catch-all, I would recommend to get a really good quality, decent sketchbook that has either watercolour paper in it or mixed media heavyweight paper, just so that you can pick up your sketchbook and whatever you feel like drawing that day, you can do it in that sketchbook. You're not limited to horrible, crappy quality paper. You can also draw illustrations in it. There's a lot of stigma surrounding sketchbooks, and people are like, oh, you can't draw fully rendered illustrations in your sketchbook because then that's either a waste or that's not what sketchbooks are for, or you can't just draw quick sketch drawings in them because sketchbooks are made to practice and learn further than just quick sketches. But to be honest, it's all up to you. If you feel like you need to practice your quick sketches and your anatomy, then you do it. If you feel like you need to practice detail and rendering, then you do it in your sketchbook. You can do anything you want in your sketchbook. It's your sketchbook, you paid for it, you're the only one that's going to see it unless you share it on social media or have it on your coffee table, I guess. And it just frees up the imagination, and you do not have to abide by any rules. There is no rules to sketchbooks. I would say that if you were going to have a rule, the rule should be to draw in it every day, no matter what it is. Just try to make it interesting for yourself and what you want to do and what you're more comfortable with, so that you don't get bored. Don't be afraid of the first page either. Like, I don't understand why people are afraid of the first page. It's just a page. If you screw it up, you can either cover it up with paint and redo it, or you can just skip to the next page and try again. The first page doesn't have to look amazing. It doesn't have to look the best. The first page just needs to be your work. Like, maybe if you are scared of the first page, try and do a title page. Draw something that you're really familiar with and that you draw all the time. I tend to draw a self-portrait so that I know that that's the way that I look when I started that sketchbook, and that's the way that my skills are in portraits when I started that sketchbook. So maybe if you want to improve something, then draw something that you really want to improve on in the way that you want to improve on it, and then the next time you start a sketchbook, hopefully you will have improved. So you draw that thing again, maybe in a different way, but you still draw it again, and then you see your progress a lot quicker. It's really important to stick with the sketchbook that you picked up to sketch in until you finish it. A lot of artists, including myself, have millions of sketchbooks lying around that only has 1 or 2 pages filled in them, and that's just a waste of paper. Try and find a really good sketchbook that you like to draw in, and sketch in it all the time until you finish it. It feels amazing at the end. It feels accomplished. You have finished something that you have done is finished, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It feels like you're on top of the world when you finish a sketchbook. I find that if I sketch in the same sketchbook, like the same brand of sketchbook, for a long time, I get bored of them. So I prefer to finish a sketchbook and then buy a different brand and finish that one, just to try and mix it up. Really, I get bored really easily if I just sketch in the same sketchbook all the time, and that's really bad. So try and find a way. If you enjoy sketching in the same sketchbook, then that's fine, but if you feel like you are bored of that sketchbook, you want different paper, you want to try different mediums, then go ahead and buy yourself a new sketchbook that'll breathe life into your sketchbook work again. If you feel really comfortable, I suggest to share your drawings on social media as well. It kind of makes you feel accountable for doing it, so you have to like draw in your sketchbook so you have something to share. People get invested in other people's sketchbooks for some reason, so if you share it on social media, then they'll expect to see it and you have to draw in it, which makes you do it. And it also makes you feel good as well if people encourage you to keep the sketchbook and keep going and tell you that your drawings are awesome. I mean, obviously there'll be some drawings where you're like, oh, I don't really want to feel like posting that on social media, and that's fine. You don't have to post everything that you draw, just things that make you feel happy. Post them on social media, and then other people, if you have a good community, other people will do it too, and they'll be inspired by you as well, which is really good. Talking about inspiration, get inspired from your own sketches to make more refined work. Like, go through your sketchbook and say, I really like that. I am going to make that into something that I really love and enjoy. So keeping a sketchbook is really just an idea bank, like a visual memory bank of things that you want to do. Make it your own. So have sketches in it that you want to do later and in the future, but you maybe aren't artistically able to do that yet. I have a lot of those drawings. And then later on down the line, if you're stuck for things to draw, just look through your sketchbook and you will be inspired by your own work. You can always have a sketchbook that can make you learn from others. So if you want to keep this separate, then that's fine. If you don't, then whatever, it doesn't really matter. But I would do a lot of sketching in your sketchbook from learning on YouTube videos or Skillshare. Hashtag no sponsor, honestly. I wish that I was sponsored by those. And you can write down notes on what people are telling you about art and do step-by-steps so that you can look back on them and apply it to your own art as well. You can use references in your sketchbook, and I highly recommend that, because if you don't, then 90% of the time your sketches and drawings will come out looking bad. You don't have a memory that, well, some people have photographic memories. Like my brother would probably be amazing at art because he can remember absolutely everything, like picture to picture, colours, things, everything. He can remember everything, but I can't. So I have to draw things from reference over and over again before it's burned into my brain. I still have to look at pictures of faces, of hands, of everything, so that I know how to draw it. Otherwise it will just come out looking like a 2-year-old draw it, and I don't understand that. But I need a visual bank to look at things. So that's where your sketchbook could become. Instead of looking at other people's artwork, look at sketches that you have done in the past and keep on looking at them and keep on drawing the same things over and over. It does get boring, but just do a variety of stuff so that you don't get bored. Also, I would recommend to keep Pinterest boards. You can keep a file on your computer where you save images, but that could get really clogged up fast and you might have no space on your hard drive left unless you have a really big terabyte hard drive external thing. So I would recommend to go on Pinterest and save as many different categories of boards as possible. I have Pinterest, and if you want to have a look at all the things that inspire me, then you can go and follow me on Pinterest. The link is in the description below. Yeah, Pinterest is a really good thing. Also, Instagram. I tend to wake up in the morning and scroll through Instagram. If my son's going to school, then I will walk him to school, and then when I'm walking back I will scroll through Instagram, and then by the time I get home I'm super inspired and want to start working on art. It's just for inspiration. You don't have to copy anything. I would prefer you not to, just to get inspired and see what you want to create when you get home or when you start working on your artwork. Now I want to go through and talk about buying a sketchbook. So first of all, you need to think about what you want to do in it. Do you want to just have random sketches? Do you want to render fully? Do you want to have an in-between? Do you want to do mixed media? Do you want to just do pencil? Whatever it is that you want to do, you need to find the paper and the sketchbook that is right for that. So like I said, if you want to do mixed media, you'd probably be better getting either a watercolour sketchbook or a mixed media sketchbook. If you just want to do cheap sketches, anatomy, quick gesture drawings, then just get one from £1 from the hobby store. It doesn't really matter, as long as it suits you. But I would recommend getting a mixed media paper at first, so that you're not restricted to one thing. So yeah. Also, if you're just new to sketchbooks, I would recommend getting something that you're not scared to ruin. If you're in the UK, the Works do quite a few sketchbooks that are really good to just scribble on. They're really, really cheap. You can get them for £1 or less, and they are just amazing for sketching, and the paper is quite good quality as well. So get a sketchbook that doesn't look pretty and that has paper in it that isn't that good quality but still is durable, so that you can scribble on it and not even care. And then progress upwards onto buying sketchbooks. Honestly, the minute you buy a sketchbook, you will be hooked. You will literally just want to buy all the things in the sketchbooks and start them. Be careful with that though. Don't try and buy a lot of sketchbooks. Like, every time you see a sketchbook that you really love, put it on a wish list. Don't buy it, because if you buy it, you will want to open it and draw in it straight away, and you'll forget about your old sketchbook. So put it on a wish list, and unless it's like really rare, like, I don't know, like a handmade sketchbook that you'll never get again, then Amazon is good for this. Just search for sketchbooks on Amazon, and yeah, you will work in your sketchbooks a lot better that way. Otherwise, you'll end up like me and have like 3 or 4 pages filled in each sketchbook and not finish them ever again. I also recommend to pick up a sketchbook that has smaller amount of pages. I have one that's got 180 sheets, or like 180 pages both sides, so it's kind of hard to fill up sketchbooks that are huge. If you are just starting out, I would recommend buying a sketchbook that only has like 40 pages in it. I got a sketchbook sent to me in Scroller Box, and the pages were really, really small. Like, they literally had barely any pages. The sketchbook has fallen apart. It was really cheap, but I finished it, and that was the first sketchbook that I ever finished, and I was so proud. Even though the sketches were like really crap, I was proud of that sketchbook. And I actually have a sketchbook tour on this channel of that book if you want to go and check out my sketchbook tours. I'll leave a playlist in the description below of all my videos that I have made about sketchbooks in the past. And the last thing that I want to say, which I've probably said before, is every time you buy a new sketchbook, buy a different one until you find the one that you like. And then if you buy that sketchbook twice in a row and you're getting bored again, then just switch it up. Just keep on going, guys. Sketchbooks are the #1 way to learn how to draw fast and efficiently, and they are really fun as well. They're really fun to look back at, they're really fun to share, they're really fun to do. Just make it fun. That's all that I have for you. Also, I probably should have said this near the start of my big long spiel, but I am drawing in a sketchbook, and I'm drawing just random little robot dudes, because I feel like it, and that's it. I had to have something to show you guys. Sorry it's not like the most amazing rendered sketchbook drawing, but this is what sketchbooks are for. I've never drawn robots before. I wanted to draw some robots, so I decided to film it for you guys. Anyway, I think I'm going to end this video before it gets too long. It's already been 19 minutes, and before that, like a bunch of minutes. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about sketchbooks, if you have any tips or tricks about sketchbooks or things you want to mention in the comments below, feel free to do so. Feel free to comment anything else, and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe and hit that notification bell down below so that you get notified of any videos that I post, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!